What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Today we're doing the Smackdown review. We started off with a recap of the Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon story. Then we get the New Day coming out for commentary for a bit. And Shane McMahon comes out.
Oh, for God's sake.
He sits there and talks about the Raw reunion. Thank God he wasn't there. And apparently on social media, Kevin Owens challenged Shane McMahon to a match at SummerSlam. Shane McMahon accepts and the crowd chants, "You can't wrestle." After some more talk from Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens finally comes out. He says he'll beat Shane McMahon at SummerSlam, then challenges him to a fight. Of course, Shane McMahon bitches out. But since Shane McMahon can't fight Kevin Owens, we're going to have another match though. So it'll be Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. After a commercial, Shane McMahon meets up with his buddies backstage. They suck up to Shane McMahon. And in tonight's main event, Drew McIntyre will be the referee, Elias will be the timekeeper, and Shane McMahon will be the announcer.
Dude.
Yay. Can't see anything bad with this happening. We then have a recap of the Shinsuke Nakamura Finn Balor match at Extreme Rules. And our next match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews. This was a good match. There was one point where Apollo Crews had Shinsuke in a stalling suplex, which seemed like about 30 seconds. Crews had most of the offense, but Nakamura rolled out of a splash, hit the Kinshasa, and got the pin. After the match, Shinsuke Nakamura continued with the beatdown. It was kind of a throwaway match, but it was good. I liked it. We then have an episode of Miz TV. After plugging his show, we have another recap of the Raw reunion. The Miz introduces his guest, Shawn Michaels. They talk about last night, then start to talk about Seth Rollins, which of course brings out Dolph Ziggler. He's running his mouth. He starts running down Shawn Michaels. Ziggler calls Michaels embarrassing. Shawn Michaels comes back saying that Dolph Ziggler is a second-rate Shawn Michaels wannabe.
Damn!
Ziggler doubles down on Michaels. The Miz basically tells Ziggler to quit bitching and do something. Just to condense it, the Miz gets slapped and Shawn Michaels eats a super kick. This is pretty much just a waste of time. Then again, anything with Dolph Ziggler is pretty much just a waste of time. We come back from commercial, we're pretty much right into a match, Charlotte Flair versus Ember Moon. Shortly after this match starts, Bayley comes out, this distracts Charlotte, and then Ember Moon pulls off the most deadliest of moves, the surprise roll-up. She gets the pin, and then after the match, Ember Moon throws Bayley into the ring. She eats a boot from Charlotte Flair. Ember Moon then runs in the ring and gives the eclipse to both Flair and Bayley. So I guess Ember Moon is turning heel, I guess? I don't know. The speculation of this was thinking that Bayley was going to be turning heel at some point, which would be pretty interesting, but we'll have to see. We then have Kofi Kingston coming out to announce his challenger at SummerSlam. Kingston calls out Randy Orton. He gets into the ring. Kofi Kingston brings up the encounter they had in November of 2009, where Kingston whipped Orton's ass. Kingston talks about how he became champion. Orton says that you weren't and still aren't ready to be champion, and that he's the reason that Kofi Kingston is a champion because he injured Ali. Orton accepts the challenge. He walks off. Samoa Joe comes out, gets in the ring for his next match. Orton then turns around, walks back out, and is sitting at ringside. So we have Samoa Joe versus Kofi Kingston. This was a good power versus speed match. I liked it. Both competitors showed a good balance of it. Before Kingston can finish anything off, Randy Orton comes in, causing a disqualification. Samoa Joe eats an RKO, and Randy Orton catches a Trouble in Paradise. This does look to be a pretty good match for SummerSlam. We then have an in-ring interview with Finn Balor. We cut to a recap of Bray Wyatt attacking Balor 2 weeks ago. Finn says that he can't explain what happened and challenges Bray Wyatt to a match at SummerSlam. Up on the Titantron, we have the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt says that Finn Balor is brave, but the Fiend is not a fan of his. He accepts the challenge, says let me in, then the screen gets all kind of screwy, and then the Fiend shows up and says let me in. This does look like it'll be a pretty good match. Backstage we have Charlotte Flair demanding to be on SummerSlam. I really hope she doesn't start shoehorning her way into a match. We then come to our main event, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, with Shane McMahon as the announcer, Elias as the timekeeper, and Drew McIntyre as the referee. Like I said, can't see this ending good. This really didn't take long for shit to hit the fan. Owens and Reigns lay out McIntyre, beat down Elias. They start to chase down McMahon, but Elias and McIntyre join back in. They try to beat down the faces, but they clean up, and Shane gets a Superman punch and 2 stunners for his problems. Kevin Owens stands tall and promises an ass whipping of Shane McMahon at SummerSlam. And with this, we end tonight's Smackdown. This was an okay Smackdown. Once again, it was talk heavy. The matches were good with the exception of the last one, which is pretty much a shit show. But everything leading up to SummerSlam is looking pretty good so far, so we'll have to wait in 2 weeks to see what happens there. But that'll do it for this episode of Smackdown Review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Smackdown, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.